Hi there. This is our second session of the World of Fun Studies. I am here again to share about common mistakes of Filipinos in English. It has been observed that some Filipinos are unconscious of the words or phrases they are using from day-to-day conversation. So, it is my observation, and I have found out that some of the words or phrases are being used in spoken English by Filipinos. I have 11 common mistakes to share to you, and I hope that you are going to avoid them when you use English. The first one is the phrase to each and everyone. Well, it is very common to speeches, especially campaigns of the politics. So we are not going to use each and everyone. Example, good morning to each and everyone. Each means everyone. So there are two things, and that refers to only one. So just say good morning to each of you. Good morning to everyone. Do not use good morning to each and everyone because it's redundant. It means it is repeating. Okay? The second one is like, for example. Many of us really fall into that mistake. Like means to give an example. And for example, it is obvious that you are going to cite an incident. So do not say like, for example. It's a no-no in English. Just say, for example, like, or say. Example, I have a friend. She likes to go to McDonald's because she wants to eat the foods there. Say hamburger. Okay, so that time you're using say. Or you will say like hamburger. Or you will say, for example, hamburger. Okay, the next one, we have the ice water. Sometimes on the post you can say, you can see for sale, ice water. How can you sell ice water? Okay? You have to think of it, that ice is already solidified water. And you are combining two things, ice, water. So I cannot really understand what you are selling. Instead, you are going to say cold water. For sale, cold water. Clear. Next, we have the phrase, therefore I conclude. I don't know how you're going to conclude it because that's already two. So I think it's already a verdict. So therefore means conclusion. Do not add I conclude. Just say therefore or I conclude. Okay, next we have in some of the pension houses or some boarding houses, we usually see bed spacer for rent. Remember, a bed spacer is a kind of object that gives gap from the wall to the bed. Or it could be a kind of rubber or foam that the bed won't really hit the wall. That's a bed spacer. But we mean a bed spacer is a person who will rent a bed for himself. Well, it's a no-no. Okay? Bed spacer for rent. We accept bed spacer. Instead, we are going to use we accept transients. We accept lodgers. But we have to remember again that lodger is a person who will stay there for long. Okay? And transient will stay there for a short time. That's the difference between them. Next, we have wrong grammar sentence. Example is, I did not eat something. If you're going to use the negative phrase, I did not, and then you're going to add anything. Do not use positive and then negative. They are fighting in a statement. It has to go along with each other. I did not eat anything. Okay, so negative, negative. Next we have on behalf versus in behalf. I have to make it clear and to clarify to each of you, my co-Filipinos, that this is very common when some of the hosts or MCs during the program, we usually use in behalf. Okay? What's the difference? On behalf, that means you are speaking because the representative that is supposed to speak is absent. So that time, you can use on behalf. On behalf of the president, I am here in front of you to tell you about his message. So that time, you can use on behalf. You can use in behalf if there is an interest of somebody or something. Example, Cebu Charity of Hope is collecting money in behalf of the street children. So that charity is having that work or having that deed because of the street children. That is to their interest, not the interest of the charity. Okay? Next, we have the coop up. Oh, don't worry with your problem because you can coop up. And then they add with it. You can coop up with it. It's wrong. You can say, you can coop with it. Do not use coop up. Because coop up is a kind of idiomatic expression or just a very informal expression. And it means keep up. Coop up the good work. Next we have in the paper versus on the paper. In the paper means with the magazines, publications, comics. You can say, I read that line in the paper. But in the classroom or wherever you are, and then you write something that is on the paper. Because on the paper, that means a sheet of paper that you are using. So I'll say, just wait for a moment. I will write the complete details on the paper. Or if you're a journalist, you can say, I wrote my articles in the paper. The next one is the use of everybody versus everyone. Remember, you have to use everybody because you are talking to a small set of people. And that is casual, informal. Good morning, everybody, and that means your class or your friends around you. But when you are in a conference, a large set of people, you are going to greet them using everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am your resource speaker of the day. At that time, you have to use the formal word. The last one is, it's very common to some establishments, the use of fill up versus fill up. Please fill up the form. Or sometimes you can see the signage, fill up the form before approaching the window. You cannot fill up a form, or else it will become wet. You can fill up a tank with gasoline or fill up a container with a liquid, but you can fill in a form to fill it out. Okay? So it's much better to say, please fill in the information so that you can fill out the form. I think next time we are going to start with the basics of English, and that is grammar. How to have almost correct to correct grammar. How to have it in speaking English. Thank you so much, and God bless. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Again, I'm Teacher John. Have a good day.